You're making a run at it, aren't you? Rolling up a steak and going to Vegas.
Welcome to the #1 poker radio show in the world. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. 1 full hour of poker news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises. Now let's bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Hey, let's bring on the players, too. They're just coming out of break here from Brasilia. Light day today down here. You know, I was thinking about, I just stay home with my daughter today and hang out. No, I took a Saturday off, so. There's Kathy Liebert. Everybody's just in sprint mode in here today. I don't know what's going on. I mean, it's one thing to see the everybody kind of doing the bathroom rush, but man, everybody's just on a roll today. Guys, promise you'll get your spot. Martin Stasco walking out in front of us. A lot of great players in the house today, chasing bracelets, but just overall not a lot of players here. A little bit of a quiet day here at the World Series of Poker. Wow. Another multiple bracelet winner yesterday. The Jesse Sylvia quest falls short, as we mentioned on the show yesterday, as we have a bracelet going to Brazil. And, of course, the Poker Players Championship rolling on. And Doyle showed up. That's right, everybody. Doyle Brunson finally got into the house. But, yeah, so everybody's just kind of hanging out right now. We'll see who's flying around. Maybe we can grab somebody for a couple of minutes. Oh, we want to thank you for joining us here on the Mark Hoke Show. Certainly do appreciate you taking the time to listen to us today while here on a Monday afternoon, live from the World Series of Poker here at the Rio. News and notes. Like I said, well, we're just kind of catching up on everybody right now. But let's start barreling through some of this stuff. Event number 38, the $3,000 no limit hold'em. Tiago Nishijima from Sao Paulo, Brazil, picks up a bracelet as he manages to ride knocking Jesse Sylvia out of the tournament to take down a bracelet. So congratulations to Tiago, winning a World Series of Poker bracelet in event number 3. As he picks up, there we go, $546,843. Pretty impressive effort for him, scoring big in that $3,000 no limit hold'em event. Event number 39 that we mentioned yesterday, of course, Brian Hastings. That one got over pretty quickly. $1,500 10-game mix. I think they're expecting that to run a little longer. But Brian Hastings wins his second World Series of Poker bracelet a couple days ago. So congratulations to him. Alex Althroyd is here. Look at this guy. Giving me the hand of solidarity. But Hastings beats off Rostislav Soldikov to win his second World Series Poker bracelet this year and third overall. And just when you thought Hastings was alone, it happens again. We'll get that in a second. The seniors event is down to the final 7. Actually, let me give that a quick refresh. Yeah, 7 players remaining. Stephen G was the headliner on that table, but G comes up, is eliminated in 8th place. Shane Goldsmith goes down in 9th. Right now it is Jim Hopperstead out in front of this one, $5,180,000. Travis Baker in second, $4,125,000. Steven Nasrallah at 3.35, excuse me. Justin Seng at $2,540,000, followed by Carl Torelli at 2.3, Michael Smith at 2.235, and Lee Budden at 1.2. So 7 players remaining in the seniors event right now. And that is the only final table that should be going off today, it looks like. But we will at least have one bracelet winner scoring big this afternoon. Of course, some decent money on the line in that one, as the winner's going to get $613,466. That was a $1,000 buy-in. 4,193 players enter the seniors event, and they are down to 7 right now, one of the biggest tournaments of the series. Of course, the overall numbers, other than throughout the Colossus, it's been kind of stagnant or a hair down, depending on which one which tournaments you're looking at, but pretty interesting on the attendance figures there. The $10,000 7-card stud high-low 8 or better championship, and Max Pescatore scores again, was in big trouble. Managed to pull this one out as he got a big hand against Daniel Negreanu and ended up riding that to the championship. Pescatore, the Italian pirate, scores big in that one as he beats out Stephen Chidwick, who we had said it was going to be hard to come from behind and beat him given where he was to start that final table off, but he managed to make the run, and Chidwick ends up at least to the final, but gets caught by the pirate, and Chidwick finishes second. Dan Negreanu, his deepest run here at the World Series of Poker, finishes third. Alexander Denisov. Greg Raymer's flying around here, by the way. Yeah, I like the finger point. It's very, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, I get that one too a lot. It's all good. Alexander Denisov finishing fourth. Gary Benson finishing fifth. Thomas Butzhammer in sixth. Richard Sklar in seventh. Alan Ledford in eighth. Yehuda Buckhalter in ninth. Philip Hui in 10th. And a very disappointed Yuval Bronstein, who just hit Twitter and was like, oh my God, I don't even know what happened here. Ends up finishing 11th. But Pescatore beats out 111 players, so that one wins $292,158 as he wins bracelet number 2 here for him at this World Series of Poker. So congratulations to Max Pescatore. The event 42, the $1,500 extended play no limit hold'em is going on right now. 102 players left in that one right now. Let's hit an update on that real quick for you. 99 players left, and Yevgeny Timoshenko out in front, one of your more dangerous players out there, of course, leading the way at 405,400. And Antonio Esfandiari, look at this. We could be getting a little traffic on the live stream as Esfandiari wins 368,000 or has 368,000 chips. Damian Salas listed in third at 363.7, followed by Anthony Diotti. Patrick Leonard, Adrian Appman, Luis Duarte, Audie Reynolds, Nicholas Duvall, and Bistro's out there. John Hines, how about that, sitting in 10th place right now? Boy, that'd be fun to see him at a final table at this World Series of Poker. That kid is one funny guy and something else for sure. Some other notables still hanging around in there. Justin Zaki in 22nd at this point. Konstantin Puchkov. Boy, that guy just finds ways to cash. Absolutely amazing. Puchkov right now in 25th. Keep on sliding down there. Let's see, we got Barney Boatman there listed in 38th. Jonathan Little's in 44th. And by the way, Jonathan Little met William Hung down here. Hey, it's Brian O'Donohue. Brian, what's up? That didn't hear me. That's all right. Let's see who else we got here. Just running down through the list here for you. I think we'll hold it up right there. So right now, Yevgeny Timoshenko trying to bring home a World Series poker bracelet. 99 players left in event number 42. Event number 43, the Super Seniors going on, and that got a little bit of a surprise entrant yesterday. Because you were following Twitter, you knew it, as Doyle Brunson entered the Super Seniors tournament, and very happy to have him show up here at the World Series Poker and get some time in. Right now, though, Robert Schaefer is leading that. By the way, 1,533 entries for the Super Seniors tournament. So a great turnout for that event. I think that one caught a lot of people off guard. So 174 left. Robert Schaefer leading the way, 158. Aubrey Vincent, 147. Henry Hannigan at 133. Dennis Waterman at 103,600. Bob Keegan at 99.3 in that one. So the Super Seniors rolling on right now, and I hope some of the boys out there that were griping yesterday are happy. We've got names. Of course, not the easiest thing to do when you don't know who they are. So that's event 43. Event 44, the Poker Players Championship. Kind of a little bit of a light one there. 81 players. They kind of expect. They like to see a little bit more in there. But 81 players entering the Poker Players Championship yesterday. Scott Seaver brings the lead into today's play as 4 players got eliminated yesterday. But and they've updated that to 84 entries, 80 left. So, yeah, we did get a couple more entries because they did have registration open into today. But Seaver at 350,700, followed by David Oppenheim. Booster J, Justin Smith back in the mix here. Abe Masari listed in 4th, 267,910. I don't know if that number's quite right. How about we just round that up? Michael Mizrachi in there, of course, the grinder, the only person to have won this tournament twice, and the grinder looking to try and bring home a third one possibly. Oh, could you imagine? Dan Kelly up there, David O.D.B. Baker, Matt Ashton, Jens Lakemeyer, George Danzer, Ben Yu, off to good starts in this one. Steve Bilirakis, John Hennigan. So many great players in the Poker Players Championship coming up here, so we'll see as that story develops. Obviously, a very long way to go and very, very early. Even though it started yesterday, it's still early in this tournament, given the amount of chip stacks and the way the blind levels are set up. But a lot of people are kind of surprised that we get some more draw type games in there. But we'll see if they tweak that for next year or not. 2 tournaments starting up today. There's $1,500 no limit hold'em event, which is drawing a little bit of a crowd here. You got right now listed at 1,269 entries in there. Jim McManus gets a screenshot. Good for him, the author of Positively Fifth Street. Listed at 22,300. Erica Lindgren there as well. And, of course, you're just going to get notables on the list. So you're looking at Nancy Birnbaum, Dennis Phillips, Gavin Griffin, Joe Cotta in there. Rachel Kranz, who we met down at Seminole Hard Rock, if you remember her, she knocked off Chino Ream heads up to get the job done there in a tournament. Alan Jaffrey in there, Ari Engel, John Gale, Amir Lamont, Eric Baldwin, Alan Kessler in there as well, Shannon Shore, Maurice Hawkins. So a lot of great notables in event number 45. Event 46, starting off later today, $3,000 pot limit Omaha 6-handed tournament. There's still a chance for you to get down there and get in the registration line, which is pretty much non-existent, and come play that event. Yeah, you can hear a lot of the people out here right now, just getting ready to head back into the Brasilia room down here where we're parked for the $1,500 tournament. All right, and let's see what else is. So that's really all your tournament updates right now. So it's kind of a really slow day here at the WSOP. But one person making news, David Bakes Baker. He is not a happy camper, to say the least. So we're going to come back. We'll talk about that. And we'll take a look at the current standings for the Player of the Year race. It's still Paul Volpe's world with everybody living in it. But once again, some interesting numbers coming out of this one. Actually, I tell you, we're going to hang in here for a little bit because, like I said, we got the players on break. So once they head back in, then we'll slow it down. So actually, I tell you what, let's take a look at that Player of the Year race right now. Paul Volpe at 1,631.59 points, still leading the way. Phil Galfond in second, and but way down right now at 1,305.1 points. Brian Hastings, two-time bracelet winner in this series, is in third, 1,264. Olivier Bousquet, 1,248.11. Mike Gorodinsky has been having some great runs in this series at 1,240.08 points, followed by Mark Radoja. Max Pescatori, unbelievably, double bracelet winner, seventh. So Pescatori, despite winning two bracelets, is sitting in seventh place right now. Hi, person whose name I'm not supposed to mention on the air, or she gets nervous, even though I keep trying to drum her up business. But Pescatori, and this is interesting too, when you kind of take a look at the point values on this thing. Let me get Max's results up here. Of course, Max winning the 10K 7-card stud, high-low split 8 or better. That got him 466 points. But you could just see the disparity between, when you have a lower payout, and as Pescatore, of course, won the 7-card Raz tournament for a $1,500 buy-in earlier in this series. 462 players, and is only rewarded with 258.7 points. Now, you do have to kind of look at that number and say, okay, there wasn't a whole lot of entrants in that. And it does seem like the mixed games really don't get as much weight in this thing sometimes, at least the lower buy-ins. But the 10K is really having an impact here. Max also with a 32nd in the 10-game mixed six-handed. That was a $1,500 buy-in. A final table on the 7-card stud, where he finished 8th. That got him 240.9 points, 91 entries. But boy, you can just see a major difference. What happens when you finish first as opposed to finishing 8th. Somewhat comparable numbers there for these guys, and a big jump. Also looking at him finishing 140th in the $1,000 low limit hold'em hyper turbo, got him 69.84 points. So another double bracelet winner, but he's nowhere near the lead, way out. And you look at those numbers, it just seems so skewed. Nothing, not horribly, but you see the weighting of what happens when you do well in these 10K events, and you can, especially, it looks like the top 3 are really scoring big on this, and compare that once again with Volpe, with his 2 seconds, got in both in 10K events, got 412 and 423 points. So an intriguing story that I think people are, as we're getting closer and closer to the end of this World Series, and yeah, we're closing in on everything but the main event here in a couple of weeks. Man, these it's pretty interesting numbers to say the least. But Paul Volpe still with that stranglehold, at least at this point, as Phil Galfond and Brian Hastings and Olivier Busquet going to try and chase him down here as we roll on through the World Series of Poker. Like I said, players are just getting ready to hand in. Let's take a look at the some of the upcoming tournaments as well, as we are closing in. Of course, the main event is event. Give me 1 second here. Event number 68 on the big board. So that's event 68. So we are just kicking off 46 today. Yeah, 46. So not a whole lot to go. We're about, in terms of actual events, we're about 2/3 of the way through the big board. Coming up tomorrow, $2,500 no limit hold'em, the $1,500  7-card stud. So should be a little bit of a quiet day down here tomorrow as well, I would imagine. Wednesday, $1,500 pot limit Omaha high-low 8 or better, $1,500, and the 10K limit championship kick off on Wednesday afternoon. And of course, we'll have our show on KSHP at 5 p.m. during that, so we won't be down. Not sure we're going to be here at the Rio or not, but I have a forced engagement I have to go to. Nothing illegal or anything, but got a little something I got to do on Wednesday afternoon, right before the show, so that'll be interesting. Thursday, $3,000 no limit hold'em 6-handed, and the $1,500 dealer's choice kicking off there. And then Friday, the ladies take over, as the ladies event kicks off Friday at noon, along with the $10,000 pot limit Omaha championship event. Then this weekend, one of the, and this is one that I think is going to be pretty intriguing, is the $1,500 DraftKings 50-50 no limit hold'em tournament. And one that hasn't gotten a lot of attention, but it'll be the first time the series is doing a 50-50 buy-in. The one you see a lot of those on PokerStars and other online sites. So the first time this will be executed live at the World Series of Poker, and for a bracelet. Also Saturday, the $5,000 Turbo No Limit Hold'em. Sunday, $1,000 No Limit Hold'em, and then the $111,111 High Roller for one drop kicks off on Sunday. So a lot of interesting events. It's got some the dealer's choice coming back, the 50-50, the little one for one drop tournament as well. So should be an interesting week here. But as we close in once again on getting near the main event. Pretty exciting that we're getting near the end of the World Series of Poker. All right, so I'll tell you what, we're going to step back, take a break, and when we return, what's got David Bakes Baker up in arms? Oh, boy. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back.
There's nothing better than sitting down to play poker with good friends and cutting loose. And that's what you're going to find when you tune in to Poker Night in America. Poker Night in America is revolutionizing televised poker in a big way, with all the action you love and the hilarious fun you've been missing. Come take a seat at the table with all your favorite players, old and new, with Poker Night in America. Mondays, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on CBS Sports Network. And don't forget to visit the show online at PokerNight.com. So pull up a chair and join us Mondays on Poker Night in America.
Hi everyone, Mark here. If you're a poker player like me and looking for something different and exciting to play, you should give Open Face Chinese Poker a shot. It has just the right mix of skill, luck, plus a huge dose of the fun factor we're all looking for. There's a reason Open Face Chinese Poker has everyone from the recreational player to the top pros hooked on its thrills, action, and unique social interactions you won't find in Hold'em. An incredible game like this has got to be worth checking out. And it's easy to learn, especially by using the ABC Chinese Poker app. Download the ABC Chinese Poker app on iTunes today and find out what everyone's talking about. And if you have questions about the game, tweet at ABC Chinese Poker and they'll be glad to help you along. So join the Open Face Chinese Poker community today with the ABC Chinese Poker app, and we'll see you at the tables.
Only a donkey would call my pre-flop bet with a deuce tray.
Hey, deuce tray is my lucky hand, and besides, they were suited. Man, I played that hand great.
That was a real share my pair hand.
Share My Pair, the best way to share your poker stories with friends, for free. Available from the iTunes App Store and Google Play. Download the app now.
PokerShop.com is your one-stop shop for all your poker and game room needs. PokerShop.com has you covered with an incredible variety of poker chips and supplies, top-quality playing cards, plus gaming tables and room accessories, just like you'd find in your favorite casino. And if you're looking to spruce up your man cave, we offer a wide selection of decor options, from lighting to mirrors and portable bars to bump stools, to make your game room the one all your friends and family will be talking about. So for everything you need to make your game night a great night, go to www.pokershop.com and receive 10% off your purchase with the code HOKE, H-O-K-E. You supply your friends, we supply everything else. Live it, love it. Pokershop.com.
Most poker websites drop you into a sea of videos and it's choose your own adventure time. You learn a lot of great moves from pros, but they don't teach you how they fit into your game. Isn't there a better way to learn tournament poker? We think so, and that's exactly what you'll get at thepokeracademy.com. It's a completely different kind of training site. We teach you how all the tactics of tournament play fit together into a comprehensive strategy topped by a 2-time WSOP bracelet winner. Use the link thepokeracademy.com/mark to get a free 166-page course guide when you sign up. That's thepokeracademy.com/mark.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Then follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show and like our Facebook page at The Mark Hoke Show for show news and outstanding poker content from around the world. Plus, enjoy the show anytime by subscribing to our podcasts on iTunes or at markhokeshow.podbean.com. We're even on your mobile phone at markhokeshow.podbean.com/mobile. Thanks for listening and being a part of The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, let's return to The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
And we are back live here at the World Series of Poker. Some bracelets getting given out. Judging by the crowd in there, I think it's Thiago's. But the Brazilian rail is just always insane. Yep, that's what I'm going with. Yeah, you can hear the Brazilians are having some fun in there. So Tiago Nishijima picking up his bracelet this afternoon here at the World Series of Poker. A well-earned one, as he had to come back for an extra day and knocked off Sochirios Kotapas, Jesse Sylvia, Samad Razavi, and Yun Fan in that one. So congratulations to him, and hopefully he and his fans are enjoying the opportunity to pick up a World Series of Poker bracelet here today. By the way, there's another story too, and I don't want to. I don't want to go out of order of what I planned, so I'll stay with it. First, let's talk about what's going on with David Bates Baker, and this is this is not the only player that's upset about this, Jared Jaffe. And now I'll be frank, when I played my event here, I played the Colossus, and I have to tell you, I'm on the side of these guys 100%. There's no question about it. The Modiano cards were introduced here at the World Series as the new card of the World Series, and I'm just gonna say they sucked. Were of very poor quality, I thought, compared to. I mean, I have better cards at home. The Modianos just have real issues with bending and being able to be marked and so on. And David Bates Baker had actually put up a file on this. But he said the current, there's been so many trouble with it that the cards made of material that retained shape even after tough bends. Or actually, that they're not. Excuse me. Hey. But he's saying the current cards fouled almost after one hard bend. The edges are being manipulated a lot. These are some of the points that he had sent. A whole group, and I'd have to. It's a Google document that he put up, but he really had said that these cards were just substandard for play. They're constantly getting marked. He was constantly having to ask Dexter be removed, and they were supposed to be taken out today. Don't look scared. Do you want to come on the show? No? You scared, Faith? No? All right. But it has been a major issue here. And at one point he says in here, so the dealers, a dealer told him they were specifically instructed not to talk about the cards in dealer meetings. He's had a rotten experience trying to point out marked cards. 4 different times was told there was no mark on the cards, and 2 of the marks were literal marks, 1 and 2 on the list of biggest mark I have ever seen on a card. Just warning everybody to protect your hand, protect yourself. But I got to tell you, and now today, he'd written this a while ago, but now today, players were told that they were going to have these cards replaced today. They were not, and Baker was actually considering sitting this thing out. He didn't want to play the 50K because of it, but was told the new cards will be here today. And they're not. And Baker's ticked. And Jared Jaffe is ticked. And I think a lot of other players, probably not being as vocal about it, but they have to be, and they have a right to be upset. Absolute right to be upset because they are terrible. Terrible cards. I mean, in terms of, I guess if you're playing with them at home, that's one thing. For somewhat, for like a small card room or something like that, I would get using those. But look, I'm in the chem camp, and I have Copags at home. I love chem cards. I think they still, to me, have been the best quality cards that are out there. That's no one's paying me to do that, but Copags are very nice, and some of their companies did a good job too. But bikes, but these cards are just not, especially in the quality that they are not suitable for the World Series of Poker. And so David, you're right, no question about it. And tell the World Series, hurry up and get these new ones that were supposed to be coming in to that tournament. So. All right, and let's see. Yeah, so there's that situation. We also are going to talk a little bit about the World Poker Tour. There's some news from the WPT, so we'll get to that in a second. But of course, while we have a moment, because I didn't do it on the show yesterday. I feel kind of guilty about it because we're always trying to make sure we thank all of our great sponsors of the show, and we want to make sure that we get those guys recognized. So how about we take a quick look and make sure you guys patronize these sponsors because they're the ones that are keeping our show afloat and getting you a lot of great coverage and stories from the World Series of Poker and around the world. So make sure you say hi to them. And of course, we are the Mark Hoke Show. We are on here. It's going to be this week's going to be a little shaky. But generally, we've been doing shows at 2 o'clock in the afternoon here at the World Series of Poker. Of course, Wednesday, we'll have our show on KSHP at 5 p.m. Pacific. We'll have our guests lined up for that one as soon as we possibly can. Then you'll be Rep Porter from thepokeracademy.com. Make sure you guys go to thepokeracademy.com and you can learn what you need to know to truly get through a tournament, going stage by stage instead of picking up a video here and a video there. Rep takes you through the whole process of winning a tournament and so much more on the site. So go to thepokeracademy.com/Mark and you'll get a free 166-page course guide. ABC Chinese Poker, the favorite app of everybody. If you're playing Chinese poker, download the app today. That's what you need. You're going to have a great time doing it. It's my go-to app when I'm traveling. You'll love it, too. So go to ABC Chinese Poker on your iPhone or iPad today. Check it out at abcchinesepoker.com. BlueRail.net, our website provider. Bob doing a great job keeping everything rolling for us on MarkHoaxShow.com and RogueWire. If you need any type of websites done, personal, business, e-commerce, anything, they've got you covered. Make sure you guys go to BlueRail.net. They build websites. How far do you want to go? And, of course, the PPC Poker Tour. Hey, we got 2 big events coming up for you in July. July 8th through the 12th, going to be down at Tampa Bay Downs. So those of you that can't be here, well, go on down to Florida. It's not bad. And, of course, also going to be at Naples, Fort Myers, July 22nd through the 26th, so I'm correct on those dates. So it should be a good one there. Go to ppcpokertour.com today. Pokershop.com, 10% off for the code HOKE. It's HOKE, and for all your supplies. Maybe the World Series should have gone to Pokershop.com to get their cards. Check them out today at Pokershop.com. Cards, chips, tables, furniture, whatever you need, they've got it. Check it out at Pokershop.com. Nevada Poker League. Hey, free poker for you guys. Things don't go so well for you here. Well, just go on over there to Nevada Poker League. 20 different locations here in Las Vegas, all for you. So make sure you check it out today at NevadaPokerLeague.com. Play some poker and have a blast doing it. We also got good friends at Share My Pair. Why tell the story a million times when you can tell it once? Play it, post it, share it. Share My Pair. Get that app for your iPhone or Android today. Check it out at Share My Pair. And ignore my wife on those. It's been a little bad with Share My Pair. Grindettes, Katie Stone, Katie Dozier, Jen Shahade, and Jamie Kerstetter. All great Grindettes. Check them out today at grindettes.com. And, of course, Facebook, The Grindettes. And on Twitter at Grindettes. That's all you got to do. We support women's poker here very heavily. And, of course, the ladies coming in this weekend. So make sure you check out the Grindettes. Poker Night in America, 10 p.m. Pacific time on CBS, or Eastern time, 7 p.m. Pacific on CBS Sports Network for the best in poker television broadcasting. Check it out today at PokerNightInAmerica.com. New episodes flying around all over the place, including get to see me play some chess. So check it out at Poker Night in America. And, of course, we're on KSHP 1400 AM in Las Vegas Wednesdays at 5 p.m. I have these internet shows wherever we go, MarkHoaxShow.com. Follow the show at Mark Hoke Show and Facebook, The Mark Hoke Show. We certainly appreciate it and love your support. Thanks for joining us on The Mark Hoke Show. All right, now we have an interesting story here from the World Poker Tour. Yeah. Broken by All In Magazine. Want to give proper credit on that one, as it has been sold. BUN Party had purchased the World Poker Tour, but they had entered into, about 6 months ago, and it entered into a licensing partnership with Our Game, which is based out of Beijing. But as of the close of business this past Friday, according to All In Magazine, both those relationships changed dramatically when Our Game finalized a deal to acquire the World Poker Tour for $35 million, which was almost triple what Party Poker paid for it in 2009. So Excuse me. So Our Game International Holdings Limited from Hong Kong has purchased the World Poker Tour Enterprises Incorporated. So they're now running the show, and Adam Pliska, who has gotten a couple of interviews out about this thing. But one thing that Our Game is very well known for is they do a lot of social gaming. So all your games on Facebook and so on. They got about 500 million social gaming users. And when they did the WPT at National in China, about 700 players qualified for that event via social gaming. That was at the MGM Grand Sanya Resort. So you can imagine that this relationship could be very interesting. And, it's kind of a follow-up on that. Pliska, was talking about a lot of different things in an article with Poker News. Says that they're going to be able to work with anyone now. And that is a very interesting point because obviously, being under the BWin Party Poker banner, you really want to be able to do stuff with Party Poker, but now they're going to be open to work with anybody, which could really open things back up for the World Poker Tour. I think one thing that we all heard everybody talking about the American Poker Awards and Conference was the fact that there needs to be more cooperation between the live operators and the online operators. Well, now Pliska has got the door wide open to have events possibly sponsored, working with PokerStars, Full Tilt, 888, pretty much anybody. So this is a pretty big deal here for the WPT, as they're now going to be able to open that up, plus once again be able to reach all the social game users as well. So this is going to be pretty exciting. Now, a little bit of speculation about where the WPT may hold their World Championship, if that site's going to change, because obviously the Borgata very much tied in with Party Poker. That they have a great sponsorship deal with those guys. We'll see if they stay at the Borgata now. I mean, it's always a great event, and the Borgata is a fantastic facility. But I have a feeling that there may be more of a global aspect to this. But I think you still have to keep it in the United States. But certainly, it's got to open the door to maybe taking that event somewhere else. So this is going to be very interesting to see how this impacts the World Poker Tour and how much it could potentially grow the tour, to say the least. So there you go. So some big news coming out of the arena of poker tours with WPT going in new hands. So good luck to Adam Pliska and everybody else over there. We know they do a great job. So we'll see what happens. Look, there's Damon. You can get on. Sure. Damon, welcome. We had some business we got to take care of, but since he's here, we're on the air.
Why not take care of it on the air,
Let's have some fun.
Let's have some fun.
Damon, what's going on, bro?
Man, it's been a wild ride, man. I just rode my bike from the famous Hostel Cat where they filmed The Hangover.
What?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. You're staying at a hostel?
You see, yeah. I don't
Wow.
have money. I'm
Oh
not-
no, it's
I'm an unpaid blogger. I get a lot of
Yeah.
hits, but they haven't figured out how to monetize blogs yet. Because right now a lot of shit that appears at the top of listings is sponsored stuff. So there's millions of dollars of marketing budget behind it. So getting on shows with normal folk like Mr. Hoke, that's the best way.
I'm normal. Well, thank you.
Well,
I appreciate that.
You're odder and odder the more I know you, but you appear like just like the very most typically normal American Pie kind of guy.
Oh, thank you.
From Pittsburgh, as I recall, or
Not really, but
Not really.
Pennsylvania. But
Pennsylvania. I have Pennsylvania roots too. Schulenberger.
yes,
That's Pennsylvania Dutch.
that is very Pennsylvania Dutch. You're correct, sir.
Especially the spelling without the C.
You
because,
should. Did you bring any shoe fly pie along with you?
any
shoe fly pie?
Pie. Never heard of that. Is
You're
that-
Pennsylvania Dutch, and you know what shoe fly pie is?
I mean, that was like my great grandfather. He was born in. Okay, so they were so far in the boonies that they believed, like people would say he was born in a cabin, and he said, "No, I wasn't a cabin because a cabin's only one room."
Wow.
Yeah, that's but that's a long time ago. I mean, they later came to South Dakota. Then my mom was born in Kansas and immigrated to California. So I'm really basically a hippie kid from San Francisco.
Very-
5 times removed.
Yeah, there you go.
So anyway, yeah, no, I was riding the bike from the Hostel Cat.
Okay.
And a police cop stops me and like spreads me over the car because I was riding on the wrong side of the road with on a road with no cars. But I appreciate it because they are keeping the streets safe. I gave him my blog flyer and I said you know, I gotta mark it any way I can, man. It's you know, it is a very dark game, and you just have to, you know, stay on the fly.
Wow.
Yeah,
That's something.
How are things with you, Mr. Hogue?
Good.
Yeah.
Keep 'em busy.
How's the senior tournament? That's really heating up right now.
Yeah, they are on the final table right now. You know, well, actually, you know, that's a good cue. How about we go and take a fast look and see what is happening in there at the moment? I will go to that dreaded chip counts tab on WSOP.com. They're down to 5.
No.
We were at 7 to start the show, and now we're down to 5. And Jim Hopperstead is barely hanging on in there. He had the lead, but Carl Torelli has managed to get some chips in there. So it's Hopperstead at $5,795,000. Carl Torelli at $5,615,000. Followed by Travis Baker, Michael Smith, and Justin Singh. Lee Boudin and Stephen Nasrallah have been eliminated, and thank God.
Thank
Because
God.
I get really tired of saying their names.
Nasrallah, I mean, that was a real threat.
Yeah.
He was going, it looked like he was going to go real deep, but what happened?
I don't know. I didn't really get to look at the updates.
Yeah.
All I know is there's a 0 by his name.
That's
So
it's a shame.
we say goodbye.
It is poker after all. I mean, only one person can, you know, ultimately win the title. You know, to win more than once is, unless you're Helmuth, is really remarkable. But it's what keeps us coming back. You know, the bracelet, the glory, poker.
There you go.
Yeah.
So 5 left in that seniors event. Well, tell everybody a little bit about your blog. By the way, you got got some pretty good stuff up there.
Yeah. Let me.
Oh, he's going for a visual aid, everybody.
Yes, sir.
This is gonna be exciting. I always get scared when people reach down in their bags on the show.
Well, the police guy got really scared and he said, "Sir, get away from the bag."
Sir, get away from the bag. Oh.
I said,
Wait, you were digging into the bag around the police officer?
I wanted to give him a flyer so he could like read my fucking my blog. You know, it's like
David.
It's all about. So this is I'm.
There you go.
Usualpoker.com. We see a really nice picture of Phil Galfond and Brian Rast, 2 of my favorite players, by the way. It's not a coincidental picture. Shooting craps, of course, with tournament director too in the picture, I believe. Mr.
Is that Jack there?
It is Jack.
Yeah, it is Jack.
This
All
was
right.
actually at the One Drop. It happened to be where they were picking their seats right before the tournament. And
Oh, okay.
I just love these kind of spontaneous kind of shots that, show the players in their element rather than the kind of stage shots you often see.
Yep.
And that's kind of the theme of the Usual Poker. It's basically unfiltered, whatever I hear or see. I was just speculating on a recent post. Phil Ivey, he didn't show up for the 50K.
No, I think a lot of people are stunned about that because there was reports that he was coming. So
I mean, so I had a couple theories, and I want to run them by you.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Let's. I'm always up for theories. Why not?
Of course, one theory is that he's obviously got far juicier games to play in Macau, which is probably the obvious one.
Yeah.
Or he's got sponsors. He's apparently he and Dwan are sponsoring this new format of really super intense poker where they take out like half the cards. And
oh wow.
It's kind of the Baccarat influence of Macau, Manila, I believe.
Okay.
These guys just can't get enough action. They go straight from the Baccarat tables. They've lost 100K, straight to the poker tables. There's another 100K, and these pros just love it, obviously. But that would be the obvious reason. Another would be that maybe he's, for some reason, persona non grata at the WSOP. I do remember last year, in the wake of his Baccarat kind of scandal, there was talk that he had there was a lawsuit against him by a major casino.
There are 2 lawsuits actually.
2.
You have Crockford's and then the Borgata as
and
well.
then he might not be welcome at the Rio because of that. And but he's a legend, whatever. But there's he has a ton of money, and some people wonder, where did he get it? Was he with Full Tilt for a long time? Was he getting $1 million a month? There's other speculation. So I just throw those out as little hints. I don't know the answer. I'm just speculating, but I do know that when he comes, the Rio is going to come alive. It's, until you get these like big names. I mean, Helmuth, don't get me wrong, he's really big, but Ivy's like another league. He's got this charisma, this presence. He just, I was there playing an event last year, and he was the next table over, and he was getting his famous calf massage, and I was just in awe. I mean, he was like so zen. He was just like, and he,
the guy is the guy is unflappable.
Unflappable. Yeah, he'd make a great announcer on your show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we had Doyle Brunson show up yesterday.
No.
Came out to play the Super Seniors.
Yeah.
So
how's he doing?
I didn't. That was the thing. I didn't really see his name on the list at this point, so I don't know what happened. But but he did make an appearance.
It's nice because he it shows that he's getting up in age. He respects the World Series of Poker. It's kind of what made him famous in a way. That and helping many players succeed through Super System, and he's one of my heroes. I love reading his stuff on his blogs that he used to write. It's just very colorful, very down home, but also very canny. And I could sense that he would be a fearsome competitor. If he would take all my money with a big smile.
He's fearsome in the hallways with that scooter too.
Oh yeah.
Even Kristen was impressed how fast he drives that thing. He's dangerous. I'm telling you, the man's dangerous.
He's still got those basketball instincts, from those years ago, no matter how you age, the fire never leaves you. The brain does not decay. The appetite for victory does not leave the building.
No doubt. Well, I'll tell you what. Let me ask you this about I don't know if you've gotten to see the Player of the Year standings.
Yeah.
But we now have 2 guys that have won 2 bracelets, and they're in 3rd and 7th. Does that surprise you?
2 guys who've won 2 bracelets in 3rd and 7th.
Yep.
Is this like a math word puzzle? Like I have to figure out how many?
You don't have to figure it out, but it's just on the. But
it's I have no idea. What are you getting at?
I'm just saying.
7th.
Two guys have won 2 bracelets, and they're in 3rd and 7th in the Player of the Year standings.
And they've won 2 bracelets in this.
In this World Series.
World Series.
Yep.
Wow. And that's why.
Kind of surprising, huh?
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah.
You haven't seen the standings, though. You'll have to take a look at that. It's pretty interesting.
Run by the standings. Why don't you?
Let's see if I still got them here.
Yeah.
I do. Paul Volpe's out with the leader with 1,631 points. Galfon's in second, 1,305. Hastings, who has 2 bracelets, 1,264. Then it's Bousquet, who's right behind him. Gordinsky's also in the 1,240 range. You go down to Pescatori, who is at 1,140.38 points.
Yeah.
He also has 2 bracelets.
Yeah.
So,
I will say that watching Galfond in the stud, no limit, single draw, that was a sight to behold. He went up against Schulman, one of the best.
Yep.
And he took him on, and he, I kind of got down on Galfond last year because of his terrible read of Dan Coleman in the 1-drop that led to his imminent bust out. But he restored my faith. I mean, he is one of the best guys in poker, one of the, most genial, nicest guys, and also one of the smartest. That game is really pure poker. As he said in his exit interview, he said, it is the purest form of poker. You either believe the other player or you don't.
Yeah.
So you really either he has it or he doesn't. There's not much room for like these semi kind of bluffs. It's really all the cards are on the table. The game would slow down incredibly. Like every hand would take like 5 minutes because these players are just studying each other so much.
Yeah.
What are they repping with this? These shoves. And Galfond took it down. It was also interesting to see Schulman next to Billy Baxter and trading stories. Billy was talking about his days in the 1970s, and the Warriors were. I think it was Game 5 was happening at the time, so they were talking sports betting and so forth. And Billy Baxter comes up with this amazing zinger, which I couldn't make up, and which he said basically, back in those days, man, we didn't have algorithms and shit. We just paid the refs.
Haha, there you go.
And then he capped that off with, "I should know. I went to jail twice." So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. And the other guy, Gordinsky's been really impressing me. First of all, in the Helmuth battle, I mean, he was super intense in that fight, and I would argue that he played just as well as Helmuth. Helmuth got very lucky at the end and got the bracelet. And of course, you know, I took a picture of them, and of course Helmuth is doing his usual thing. He's like standing next to Gordinsky and giving him a little advice, like "Welcome to the big leagues, kid," kind of thing that he does. And unlike Coleman, who would get highly offended, or you know, other players, you know, Gordinsky seemed to take in the right spirit, which is this is a legend who does know how to play poker. He has 14 bracelets, and he's kind of welcoming him, you know, into the fold as, you know, as maybe not a successor, but as someone
as a respected peer,
worthy of standing next to him. And I think there is that element to any sport. So I don't get down on Helmuth as much as some people do for his obviously huge ego. And Gordinsky, you know, I just talked to him briefly after the match. Actually, I got his signature on a little sketch I did, which I put up on eBay today for $10,000. Main event buy-in, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah. But in any case, he was like, I mean, he was intensity personified. He was obviously just adrenaline just racing through him, and really, really crushed not to have taken that bracelet. So he is a fierce competitor, and you know the intensity with which you know certain players look at you at the table, they unsettle you. They make people make mistakes because you're playing on the defensive, they're playing their A game, and they're playing your reactions. So they're bouncing this intensity on you. I think, you know, Mike McDonald tries to do it, but he's just not good enough. Gordinsky, he's you know, seems to be the full package from what we've seen in this WSOP. He's made a lot of final tables. Is it 3 or 4?
He's got a couple. Let me take a look, because he, like I said, he's in 5th place in the standings there. 3 final tables in this series so far.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And yeah, definitely an up and coming player for sure.
What about Merstog? I mean, he's back.
Yeah.
Is that not awesome?
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's good to see him. And Natasha Barbora is his girlfriend. Also did quite well.
Yep.
She took 2nd. She ran a really
rough bluff.
Ill-timed.
I was there. I saw it.
Basis. But yeah, Merce. I mean, it's good. Hopefully he can get through some. I mean, there's been talk that he was, you know, deeply, you know, in debt for certain things, and hopefully this kind of evens him out, and he's back to his old, you know. I mean, I think he's big enough that, you know, whatever happens, he'll have sponsors and so forth, so he doesn't have to worry. You know, like me, I have to worry about, you know, where I get my, you know, my lentils and rice every day.
Don't we all?
Oh, don't we all?
Don't we all?
Yeah. The media folks are, well, we don't live large, but we do take advantage of the free food at the Rio.
Yeah, you have to.
You have to.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
about all we get.
Yeah, that's what I need to go get some lunch. I'm kind of hungry. Yeah, so you know, it's been a crazy World Series, but a lot of top pros have been really stepping up to the plate this year, and we still got a couple of weeks to go before the main event.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this one, Damon. The main event coming up.
Yeah.
Numbers up or down?
I mean, apparently the numbers have been down significantly, although they did get a huge turnout for the Colossus, so that in terms of total attendance, that kind of added. But if you take in the total buy-ins and stuff, it's down a bit. I would say down if current trends prevail. I mean, unless you have like some really exciting, like I could say if like Phil Hellmuth and Phil Ivey showed up, you know, one of these days, and they got like heads up in like a final table, and it like made national news, and people got enthused about poker again, which would be awesome. I would say also that, you know, they just need to, you know, just keep on. I noticed that WSOP is getting really serious about listening to the players. They like I think Alan Kessler came up with a different structure for like a pot limit tournament, and they changed it immediately, like to make it a better structure. And he's kind of like the Jack Nicholson of poker. He designs these tournaments that are awesome. Like I played one at Planet Hollywood last November. It was like $400 and had an amazing structure, a lot of play. I was almost a chip leader at the end of day one, and I ran a sick bluff, and the guy called me, and I busted.
I'm sorry.
But in anyway, yeah. So if Kessler says something, then they listen. They go on the fly. They're changing it. I've seen Rob, you know, trade out his suit for like a reporter's gear, just get down in the trenches, like figure out what's going on in the poker world, how can we make it better, and you know, I have full confidence that they're going to hype this up and make it an event to remember.
Yeah, I have to say right now, I think one thing that could save this, I mean, because the way this has been going so far, I really felt like the numbers were going to be down. but for the main event. But they do have that Lucky Sevens tournament leading into this. And, you know, I think, once again, I think people are really, you know, because the Colossus got so much hype.
Yeah.
You know, you're only talking, it goes 565 to 777. It's not a big jump.
No.
So and plus you got a holiday weekend coming up there too.
Yeah.
You know, so it's a good time to travel. I wonder, I mean, because honestly, if it's me, and I'm thinking, if I'm only going to come out to the World Series once,
right,
and I have the budget, well, am I going to play the Colossus,
right,
and then, you know, whatever else flies around, or am I going to come out and I'm going to play the Lucky Sevens, and then either try to find a way to get in the main, or if I have the money to play it.
That is indeed a perfect strategy, because you, like, before you get into the main event, you want to kind of break yourself in with a couple tournaments. The 777 is a low buy-in tournament that will get a big field, and it'll be a chance to kind of replicate the kind of big field action that you'll get in the main event. So strategically, that's what I would do anyway, suggest doing. You know, take a week if you can. You know, it's the perfect time of year for it, and hang out with poker players for a week and have fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always fun here at the Rio.
You are such a liar. Anyway,
yeah.
I'll ask you one more thing, and then I think we're going to wrap up today.
Sure.
The complaints about the playing cards. Now, you're working on a book where you're getting into a lot of the dark side and, you know, of the game and things that you know are going on that you know, little different stuff.
It's the kind of stuff that gets people excited about poker, because, you know, rounders, you would think after watching rounders, no one would in their right mind would ever have played poker. I mean, instead it like launched the poker boom.
Right.
And mine is not even that, you know, I maybe I should make it a little more graphic. I should, you know, get to the real. No.
You can just hang out here in the hallway with it.
Well, it does get graphic here, especially when Doyle's on his like scooter. Like it can get quite dangerous.
Photo frenzy.
Very dark.
But with the situation with the cards.
The cards, the Mondiano.
I mean, people have really been complaining about this. David Bakes Baker was upset again today because they were supposed to be replaced. They're not. I can tell you that I played with them, and I found them to be a pretty substandard card that they had here.
Mondiano is sponsoring. I mean, they're paying money to have their cards there. They have a contract with Caesars Entertainment Corporation, okay? And if you have a contract with a major, you know, international corporation, it's very hard to break. I mean, whatever the WSOP tournament directors, and they probably do it tomorrow. They go out, you know, go over and buy some decks that would satisfy people. Their hands are probably tied by the corporate contract in place, and Caesars needs their money, and they've agreed to use this. I mean, it's written in stone. Their lawyers would have lawsuits probably if they changed at this point.
Well, it is my understanding that they did break out. They brought some chems in for the Poker Players Championship, at least,
so they,
for those players.
So if you have $50K to spend to risk, then you will get a good unmarkable deck. I was actually at the 2-7 that Gal Fund won, and a player, we were down to 18 players, and a player said he complained very loudly that half the cards in the deck were marked, which means A, that one of the 7 players at his table was marking it, and he probably had a good idea who, and B, which is like news, but B, the cards have a lot of white space. It's easy to make a little crimp. It's easy to see the shadow, I guess, like as it reflects off the felt or whatever. How people
and they just bend. They bend, and they're easily marked. I mean, you know, for me to like, you know, I personally, as I said earlier in the show, I prefer chems, and I really, you know, when if to mark a chem card. I mean, you've really got to dig in, and it's going to be, it's very difficult to notice that. But these.
So just for the uneducated viewers, what's the difference between a Mondiano and a chem card?
Well, but I think that just my personal, the Mondiano cards that they've been using are thinner, and we've actually heard some players say that depending on what card they were, the card was actually thicker. Believe it or not, I actually had a dealer tell me that, and
I kind of like that because you know, poker for the blind, you can just tell what you have by how thick it is.
That would be nice, but you know, they're both plastic cards, but just the chem cards are more solid. They're harder. They're much harder to bend. They're much harder to mark. They're just a much more durable card. I mean, I when I was playing, I had to turn in a card that I found the corner was bent up with one of the Modianos, and you know, that totally caught me off guard. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I've got a card that the corner's bent
It
up.
was an interesting situation too. That I guess this is so common that they stopped switching out whole decks, but they would do them card by card.
And that's what they did when I was in the Colossus.
Yeah,
They did do
And
that.
they were,
They called for a card. They didn't call for a deck
They were
switch.
going to do that at the 2-7, the Galfond one, and the guy complained vociferously. He said, "You can't frickin' afford 3 new decks to just swap them out," and so they finally brought new decks for those guys because they are risking $5,000 a piece. They're
Right.
the best of the best, basically. These guys mean business, and they got their wish, but it took some arm twisting, shall we say.
Yeah, we're waiting for those replacement cards to get here, but until then, that
Yeah.
story's going to continue, and
It
a lot of
will.
players
It's,
are furious
Cardgate.
right now.
Cardgate 2015.
Oh God, can we drop
New
the
hashtag.
gate?
Can
Can we drop the gate thing?
There was Handshake Gate yesterday. Last year with Gate.
Gate. I got your gate right here.
Yeah, the gate.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah. So so a lot of great stories coming on. Once again, if you want to check out Damon's blog, it's usualpoker.com.
Yes, it is. And
it's pretty hefty stuff, so give it a read.
It's pretty light reading, actually. I'm very lazy.
Okay. Well.
A lot of pictures, some audio interviews, and a few random things that I just write cryptically. Once they start paying me, I might do a little more work.
All right. That's legit.
All right.
All right. So that, I think, is going to wrap up our show day because it's just been a quiet day here at the series. We'll be back tomorrow, and then all that stuff going on here coming up Wednesday and Thursday, our show on KSHP on KSHP and KSHP.com, Wednesday at 5. Thursday might be a no-show day for moi because I get invited to play in a little tournament over at the M.
Okay.
So I'm going to be headed over there on Thursday.
What's that?
A little invitational thing. I got an invite.
Nice. Well,
So-
as you should.
Yeah. So they're kind enough to have me over. I'll make the trip.
Yep.
So so we of course we got the ladies coming up this weekend, but for now we're planning on being back here tomorrow at 2 p.m. Should be a good one.
Awesome.
So Damon, thanks for stopping over. Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure.
Good to see you.
Yes.
And we will see you guys tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel, hopefully with some better cards. So we will catch you then, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Awesome.